Okay guys, let's go slide by slide over the Desmos activity. So slide 1 is just an introduction. It says linear equations have one solution for each x value. All of the solutions to the equation make up the line that you draw for the graph. Linear inequalities are different because similar to a number line inequalities, the solution set makes up an entire region of the coordinate plane. So as you can see with the equation, anything on the line would be a solution, but with the inequality, anything on the line plus what's in the shaded region is a solution. All right, let's go to the next slide. So it says slide 2, what is the slope? So if we have y equals 3/2 x plus 3, the slope would be the number in front of x. So it would be 3/2. And that means you'd go up 3 to the right 2. All right, now what is the y-intercept? So if I have y equals 3/2 x plus 3, my y-intercept would be 3. Remember that our equation is y is equal to mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept and m is the slope. All right, slide number 4. It says, what is the slope of the function? So if I take my highlighter and I go from this point to this point, then I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2. All right, so notice that I went down 1 to the right 2. All right, so down 1 to the right 2. So down means negative, so I have negative 1 over 2. So now it says input the slope of the function below, then watch to see if your slope creates an equation that matches the graph. So I'm going to do negative 1 divided by 2. And I can see that it matches the graph. Awesome. Share with class. All right, now which equation below represents the graph shown? So I have to have a y-intercept of 5. So that can only be A, B, or C. Remember, my y-intercept is right here at 5. That's my y-intercept. Okay. And then my slope from my y-intercept, from this point to that point, I go down. All right, so from my y-intercept, right here, to the next point, I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. So this has a slope of negative 2 over 1 and a y-intercept of 5, so this is my answer. And then explain your thinking, explain how the y-intercept is 5 and the slope is negative 2 over 1, and then make sure you share with class. Let's look at slide number 6. So graphing inequalities leaves regions of the plane shaded. In this case, the inequality is y is greater than 1/2 x minus 2. All the points that make this inequality true lie within the shaded region. Note that the point T is not a solution. Explain why. So T is not a solution because if you substitute in 4 for x and negative 2 for y, you would get negative 2 is greater than 4 divided by 2 minus 2, which would simplify to negative 2 is greater than 2 minus 2, which is 0, and negative 2 is not greater than 0. So I could say, and this is not true. And then hit share with class. Alright, number 7, graphing inequalities leaves regions of the plane shaded. In this case, the inequality y is greater than x over 2 minus 2. All the points that make this inequality true lie within the shaded region. Therefore, the shaded region marks every point that is a solution. Move point T to make it a solution. So let's move this into the shaded region. Okay, that's all I need to do. The blue point in the graph is not a solution to the system of inequalities. In order for it to be a solution to the system of inequalities, it has to satisfy both inequalities. So we have to have it in the purple region. So let's move that to the purple region. Right there. Okay. Joseph moved the point 2, 7. Is his point a solution to the system of inequalities? All right, so slide 9. You can see that it's on the solid line and it's in the shaded region, so the correct answer is going to be yes. So 2, 7 is on a solid line which touches the overlapping shaded region. All right, let's go to slide 10. So add a linear inequality that will make P a solution to the system, but not T. All right, so let's go ahead and try a solution. Let's say y is less than 2x minus 8. Okay, so if I do that, then T will not be a solution, but P will be. All right, feel free to come up with your own inequalities here or try mine. Let's look at slide 11. So slide 11, it says, which graph correctly displays the inequality? So the first graph has to have a y-intercept of negative 3. Okay, so that would be down here. And then it has to have a slope that is down 2 to the right 1, so down 2 to the right 1. And then y is less than on a dashed line, so it can't be A. But it could be B, so, but then this is a solid line, this would be a dashed line, so it can't be that. Alright, so perhaps this one. Alright, so we're looking for a dashed line here, dashed line, and then a y-intercept of negative 3. So this has a y-intercept of negative 3. So we have a y-intercept of negative 3. We have a slope that goes down 2 to the right 1, okay. And then they drew a line between the points, okay. It's a dashed line, and then y is less than, so it's shaded below, okay. And then for this equation right here, I'm looking for a y-intercept of 2, okay. My slope is 1/3, so that means I need to go up 1 to the right 3, put a dot, and then it needs to be a solid line because y is equal to, and then since y is greater than, we're going to shade above. Alright, so the correct answer is going to be C. Let's go to the next button. So one inequality has already been graphed, so we have y is less than 5.5 minus x over 4. So that's the same thing as saying y is less than negative 1/4 x plus 5.5. Alright, so my y-intercept was going to be 5.5, and then my slope goes down 1 to the right 4. Okay. Now it says which inequality would make point T a solution to the system of inequalities. Okay, so I need to do point T. Okay, so let's look at number A. My y-intercept here would be negative 1. My slope is negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. I would have a dashed line in between those points. I know my line's pretty messed up here, but then y would be less than that, so the overlapping shader region would be over here and wouldn't include T, so that's not going to be A for our answer. For B, let's erase this. My y-intercept is going to be negative 1, and then my slope is going to be 3 over 1x, so up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Okay, so my slope is 3 over 1. Remember, it's the number in front of x. And then I'm going to also draw a dashed line in between my points. Okay, and then y is greater than, so I would shade above, so everything above the line. But that means that everything below the line wouldn't be shaded, so again, T would not be a solution. Alright, let's go ahead and look at C. So this has a y-intercept of 4, so right here. And then my slope is negative 1 over 1. So that means I'm going to go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. And then this is also going to be a dashed line. If I continue going down 1 to the right 1, 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 my dashed line will look like this. T will... So I'm going to continue drawing my dashed line. And then it says y is greater than, so everything above the dashed line. So since everything above the dashed line would be shaded, then that means that T would be in the shader region. So let's use this to kind of draw that better. So everything here would be shaded above the line. And the overlapping region that's yellow and green would include T then. So the correct answer is going to be C. And as you guys can see, when I click on C, it automatically graphs it for me, so I can see a nice clear example of what this line would look like. And then I could say T is in the overlapping shaded region. Share with class. Alright, let's look at slide number 13. So it says, shade the point P and leave T exposed with just one linear inequality. So we want to include points P, but we want to leave out T. Alright guys, so I rewrote these equations. Remember, this would be the same thing as minus 7. Now I can see that T is not a solution, but all the P points are a solution. Alright, I want you guys to go ahead and try numbers 14, 15, and 16 on your own. So you're going to create your own graphs and you're going to experiment a little bit. Guys, have a great day. Make sure you use your first and last name on this.